Hi again, Gregg Bell, Dave Boling, CenturyLink Field in Seattle. Seahawks have clinched the NFC West, third time in 4 years, 24-3 over a pretty inept Los Angeles Rams team that went to 4-10, had a new coach and a rookie quarterback and got sacked 4 times. This game, though, had a lot of concerns and a lot of alarms, and a lot of it was off the field with Richard Sherman going after. I saw Darrell Bevell for a play call from the 1-yard line, a pass to Jimmy Graham that was intercepted briefly by the Rams before a replay review overturned the call. And the Seahawks ended up keeping possession and scoring a touchdown that made it 17-3, but the sideline antics really took the show for myself and Dave, what we saw. Sherman said afterward he was going after Pete Carroll and said, we've seen this before, passing from the 1-yard line. You don't have to remember when that was, Super Bowl 49 against New England at the end, and why the Seahawks aren't a 2-time Super Bowl winner. It was a bad look. And Dave, you wrote about this in the News Tribune. Sherman said he was justified absolutely because we're all in this together, and he felt it was justified of going after his coaches. Doesn't seem like what a championship outfit would do, though.
Stay in your lane. Do your job. Maybe if you're on offense and you've got some background and reason to go get into it, there are real bad optics about it. Sherman's way better than that. We've dealt with him. He's a great guy to deal with. He's a dream to deal with. He is so intense and so competitive and so admirable in so many ways. He's better than this. I think it's a sidebar, and I think they will get this all together. But there have been a couple of times this year where it has been disconcerting in the way it seems as if they're losing control and coming unraveled a little bit. And for as much as this has been a brotherhood, and they pride themselves on playing not just for each other, but for each other's families, that they're all, the interconnectedness of this team is primary to them. It doesn't look like that when you're screaming and yelling on the sidelines and in the heat of the action, as Richard would like to say, hey, I think things get said. I think these are distractions, they're diversions. And if the team was 13-1 right now, then we'd say this is nothing. This team has had a lot of inconsistencies. It's been up and down, and I don't think it has played as well as the talent warrants. And maybe this is a problem that we're seeing.
It sounds like intangibles. Yes, you're only cared about the bottom line. They won. They're winning the division. They're going to the playoffs again. But in my opinion, this separates a team that can get into the playoffs from a Super Bowl winner. And you have to have intangibles and chemistry and camaraderie and at least not yelling at each other on sidelines.
They have at times thrived on dysfunction, but it always came to be then like it was us against the rest of the world.
Right.
And I'm not sure I sense that right now.
Sherman, of course, did it against during the Falcons game of blown coverage, and then he went after Chris Richard, the defensive coordinator, on the sidelines. It was Richard tonight that I saw pulling Sherman away from the confrontation with Bevell. Bevell went right back at him, by the way, and was barking right back at Sherman. Sherman said, yeah, he acknowledges that, but his opinion about the whole matter didn't change.
On the upside,
they
win the game. Russell
Wilson had a very redemptive night. 3 touchdown passes, 19 of 26 completions, an interception on his last throw. There was a poor decision here on the goal line behind me, but it was inconsequential to the final result. That was 4 days after, of course, the 5-interception game at Green Bay. Tyler Lockett, his career high in
Huge
receiving
game.
yards with a 57-yard touchdown down the right sidelines. That after that touchdown, I noticed many offensive players, even inactive players and coaches, going up to Darrell Bevell and patting him on the back. This was a few minutes after the confrontation with Sherman. Michael Bennett looked bad. He walked into the locker room with what appeared to be a head injury. They even announced in the press box that it was a concussion-related examination. Turns out Pete Carroll said Bennett was hitting the side of the neck when he didn't see Todd Gurley coming at him and knocked Gurley down in the third quarter. He says Bennett will be okay. Bennett gave me a thumbs up and said he's going to be okay. The Seahawks play Arizona here next Sunday.
Pressure on the quarterback?
Saturday, Christmas Eve.
Pressure on the quarterback
4
here.
sacks.
So, again, that was something, another positive that we can look at.
The Seahawks went with blitzing tonight, much more with Bobby Wagner and middle linebacker blitzes and even outside blitzes than they did against Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay when they didn't get to him at all, but one time, inconsequentially, when it was already a rout. Rodgers shredded him with no pass rush tonight. Jared Goff had no answer. He was almost flummoxed on every single time he dropped back to pass. They made him look like a rookie quarterback, which he was. The Seahawks' other injury was John Ryan taking off on a punt run down the middle of the field and went for about 40-some yards until it looked like he got tripped over his own feet and got a head injury, concussion that Carroll said left the punter woozy. He's in the hospital. His wife's at his side. No immediate word yet on what that'll be, but it sounds like the punter will be in concussion protocol.
10 days off now.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of concussed players and injured players, and maybe there's some emotional and psychological healing they can do in this period as well.
The Seahawks will hope for a Detroit loss at New York, the New York Giants on Sunday. If that happens, the Seahawks will be back into the number 2 playoff position, which of course means a first-round bye and a second-round playoff game here at CenturyLink Field, and that is big for a team that looks really bad on the road and really good at home, as tonight.
I think the only team in the NFL still unbeaten at home.
7-0 now with the game against Arizona on Christmas Eve here. Then the season finale, New Year's Day at the San Francisco 49ers. Pete Carroll saying he hopes these 2 games establish some kind of consistency before the playoffs. Consistency, as Dave mentioned, this team has lacked all season. Dave and I are here all season long, and now we have an NFC Championship team to cover. Thanks for watching.